Good evening and welcome to a new episode of our program, The Daily Debates. Wednesday evening, I'm Yasmin Bakir. Tonight we're going to be shedding light on the unprecedented recovery that Egypt's economy has been witnessing at all levels and in different sectors, specifically during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, Egypt's current foreign relations also, in addition to the economic reform, growth of foreign reserves and also the growth rate, which led to an improving confidence for the international investors to invest in Egypt and for the international agencies to give credit to Egypt for its outstanding performance economically despite the pandemic that has shocked the world. To speak more about the reasons behind the continuous stability of the Egyptian economy, how the international credits or the ratings for the international companies going to be reflecting on the Egyptian economy, and much more concerning everything to do with the bankings and the economic perspective. I'm very much delighted to have joining me in the studio this evening Mr. Raed Alam, who's an economic expert. I know it's a very vast title, but we do apologize though, an economic expert as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for joining us. We will be very interestingly wanting to hear from you your take on the Egyptian economic performance, but allow us to go out to this first report, Egypt's extensive international trade network, and we'll be right back.
The Egyptian economy has always shown resilience to the global financial crisis, thanks to the fact that Egypt is pursuing an economic reform program launched as part of an agreement with the IMF in 2016 and now has one of the highest growth rates in the region. Since the program was launched, Egypt returned to the bond market and has been the main sovereign issuer in the African region. As a result of implementing the economic reform program, a gradual reduction in the government deficit took place, which achieved a primary surplus. Prior to the outbreak of COVID-19 in early 2020, Egypt had one of the best performing economies in the MENA region, and despite the disruptive effects of the pandemic, this trend looks set to continue. Egypt's resilient economy came in part be attributed to a series of government-implemented structural reforms. The country's post-COVID-19 recovery will be guided by the Egypt Vision 2030 strategy, which identifies nearly 80 programs and projects, including entrepreneurship programs, logistics centers, and environmental projects. Meanwhile, continued reform to the financial and insurance sectors is designed to attract greater capital to the country and support growth in other industries such as real estate, oil and gas, petrochemicals, transport, and textiles. Egypt's strong project pipeline, strategic geographic importance, and broad range of recent reforms ensure that the country is able to rise to any challenge. It's worth mentioning that the pandemic has presented a number of new opportunities that Egypt can capitalize on, including the rise of e-commerce and digital banking, and the potential worldwide shift of manufacturing operations. One of the world's oldest civilizations, Egypt has long been central to the development of the MENA region and has built an extensive trade network benefiting from its location at the crossroads of Europe, Africa, and Asia. As the world's 14th most populous country and the most populous nation in the Arab world, Egypt also benefits from its expanding population. These underlying fundamentals help the country to continue on a path to long-term growth despite the global COVID-19 pandemic.